I'm Nikki Lane, and this is the Vivogig podcast.
So if we were to go like chronologically and connect the dots between the tattoos, is there an image going on there?
Well, I got my scorpion, which was my first tattoo, and that was actually the only black piece of clothing I had when I was younger, because that was gothic, by the way. Terrible idea, black clothing. Was a scorpion shirt that I cut up into kind of like a hoe t-shirt. By that I mean like there was nothing to it but like a little panel. And I would stuff it in my bag and take it out and wear it at rock shows, you know. Probably like 200 shows before my mother caught on and like burnt it or something. You know, I still have it, but so I got that right when I turned 18, and then right when I decided to move to California, I got a tramp stamp. You know what that is? This is made in the USA, and then I gave myself this heart tattoo here, just for the hell of it on 666. I'm not into any sort of devil things, but it was a day that seemed remarkable or something. And then I got, you know, this feather here, light as a feather, when I moved to California. Are you bored yet? Last South by Southwest, Wanderlust Calls Again, and then moving to Nashville, time-ish, Hillbilly, so that I'll buy this, so that I don't forget to buy the company.
So what is your, you've sort of been moving around a lot. What is your sort of genesis as an artist and sort of moving, and how each place has, you know, influenced you?
You can't really, I don't know how other writers write, but the way I write is by experience, and you can't continue to experience, I don't think, in the same state for 10 years. Like, things get pretty stagnant. You know, now I got a husband and I have a house. You know, like, what else is going to change? So in order to have things change, you kind of have to throw yourself into new situations. Like, you know, it's a little risky to drive out across the country. You know, we broke down the first day, but then the car just started right back. You know, but that's a song, you know, like broke down on the roads of Albuquerque. You know, I don't know. You know, it could be. And the more you experience, the more shit there is to write about. So I get bored, and I convince myself that it's Nashville's fault. Then maybe I will come to Austin.
And Carey, how many stops did you have?
Oh, I've lived in Nashville for a while, but I've traveled a fair amount.
But did you come straight from North Carolina to Nashville?
I did. I moved from Chapel Hill. So.
And Nikki, the sort of music scenes in all the different places, you know, LA, New York, where you are, Nashville now. What's the sort of difference? What's the feeling there?
You know, I feel like LA has definitely got that working band mentality. You see a lot of bands come from the middle of the country or wherever else, and they know they've got to work. Like, they came there because they feel like they're on to that next step. And so you'll see bands there like play a residency at a different bar every month, you know, like every week for a month, and you'll start to see like the guitars will say, oh, I handle the blogging, and oh, I handle the booking, and you're like, oh, you guys actually know this is a business. That's wonderful. And that's not all musicians. There are some terribly lazy musicians everywhere, but that's something that I seem to notice. New York is all based on groove. It's so damn expensive that there's nobody working as a band unless they've already made it, and then I don't know, you know, that's one thing. But everybody in New York is working their ass off 60 hours a week, you know, to live in New York. So I feel like they're more hobby musicians. And then you go to Nashville, and in Nashville it's just, Nashville's the most free and easy place because everybody knows that they live for cheap. They do what they want, they play what they want, and they don't have that pressure. Like, they might be trying to make it a business because there's a huge business there for it, but
playing tons of bands just because they love the music, and they just want to be playing with lots of different people, and there's a lot of different kinds of expression that they want to use to express themselves musically. So
it's like all places, really talented players, really bad players. I mean, that's just the way it goes. It's 50-50. But overall, you know, just very different, but obviously very similar, you know. Musicians kind of have a common thread, you know.
So when you lived in New York, is that when you met Louis from Fool's Gold?
I met him through my label. You know, I kind of got a record deal as an accident. I was managing a store 60 hours a week. I go out to LA, I get a Facebook message from a really close friend. He goes, you should be famous. I go, yeah, I know, like, duh, of course. Get me a record deal. You know, and one appointment later, I have one. Like, that doesn't happen. And if it does, like, we're gonna keep pushing for that. You know what I mean? But they set me up to write with Louis, and I was real skeptical because Louis was.
Had you heard of his band before?
Yeah, I mean, well, they're on my label, so clearly I knew what they were, but it wasn't the same as me, and I was like, African beats with Hebrew lyrics. Like, what am I gonna have in common with this guy? And I went in, and I was real grumpy in the morning. You know, I'd been there for weeks, and you know, he sat down and he goes, we have to write a song today. And I was like, well, maybe we'll just talk and then like, maybe we'll write a song later. And he was like, no, we should try. It's like, I don't know if I want to try. You know, because I had my guard was up a little bit. You know, I was writing alone. Like, now there's like cute guys telling me I'm going to write a, you know, don't tell me what to do. But, you know, 2 hours later we had written Gone, Gone, Gone. And that was it. You know, you go home and I went home and I cried because I was like, I was so stressed out. I'd been like working every day for 3 weeks and wrote Gone, Gone, Gone. Lewis says he's going to make the record. Then I go to another appointment. Dave Cobb says he's going to make the record. I was like, it's too much. I just cried out of like stress. And they both made the record. Yeah. And Gone, Gone, Gone got its name, and Walk of Shame got, you know, everything just kind of.
I mean, I'm a big fan of Fool's Gold, and so that's how I found out about you. Is because I saw that and it caught my eye, and it was like, what? He's doing like a country record? And it's so great. Like, I think it is a cool fit because there are a lot of people like that produce that when they go outside of their realm kind of can bring an influence and like a different perspective, and
well, he's really talented. He's classically trained.
Yeah.
And, you know, and everything he does is a little bit different. And, you know, he had done some records before that I didn't love, just musically. And I was like, well, what are you going to do to my record? Like, I don't love this. And he was like, but that's that band. And so it's nice to like, meet producers that are comfortable with really catering to your needs. Like I said, especially as a solo artist, like, I need that because I can't play drums. I can't play bass. I can't tell you, I don't speak drum. I can't tell you that you need more floor tom or whatever the heck, you know, if it's not going well. So you have to really put your trust in somebody, and he was easy to do that with.
So on stage, you were saying you were having to learn to play guitar. How long have you been playing? Was that not part
I mean, I've always like had them like laying in the house, but it was to get boyfriends. It wasn't like to sit along and play guitar. So, you know, it's been I've been only playing live for about 3 months.
Okay.
Normally, if we have a pickup band, we have to drill it in their head not to look at me, because I will ruin the song. You have to only look at her, you know. And but I'm learning. I get really nervous. You know, I've got to remember the words, which I probably wrote when I was like elevated, if you know what that means. And I got to remember the words. I got to remember the melody. Like, there's a guy over there smiling. There's a lady like looking like she's gonna have a heat stroke. You know, all kinds of things are happening. I'm paying attention, and I got to strum the guitar. And then there's things like D minor, which are just awful. You know, I don't know if you know anything about that, but that's awful. D minor. You know, so so we're playing catch up a little. You know, people liked it faster than I planned on. So
yeah, so that was, you know, you've gotten a lot of really good press. You were Vogue's Artist of the Week. You've been and had great reviews in Paste and like all over the place. So what out of that sort of coverage has meant the most to you? Were there any that like you were a reader of and like getting in that meant
I guess
something?
What was the most surprising was when I found out that it was genuine. I thought we hired a we hired a publicist, and they just gave us all this press. Like, everybody was just dying to talk about how cool you were. And so I wasn't even really that grateful. And then somebody was like, no, they're not nice to you just because of your publicist. Like, they actually like it. And then I was like, Vogue likes my song.
So your new album, can you talk a little bit about that? It's called Walk of Shame. Where does that name come from?
Have you ever done the Walk of Shame?
Absolutely, but what's...
Definitely done the
If you've done it, then you know.
Is this a specific instance, or is this just the general...
It actually was written the first time I spent the night at my husband's house, before he was my husband. I had to get up the next day, and it was 4th of July, and I am particularly festive on 4th of July. So I'm wearing, you know, cut off, tiny little swim trunks from like the 50s, boys swim trunks, that are red, white, and blue striped, and a tiny little tank top, and 6-inch picnic basket heels that look like picnic baskets. So I look a little bit promiscuous for 4th of July. But on the 5th of July, with my hair all a tumble, like, it was pretty rough. And so you get on the subway in New York, and there's like, you know, 2 Hasidic men like shaking their head like you're for sale, and you know, like a little kid going like, Mom, what's that? And you're like, oh God, like, it's the worst feeling. But you know, I had felt that feeling before. I'm not gonna pretend. And so I was like, that's the Walk of Shame. And like everyone, like you should see the women, like everybody. Have you seen Bridesmaids? Mm-hmm. Like, if only the damn song would have been written like 6 months earlier. Like, Kristen Wiig does the best Walk of Shame I've ever seen. And it's like, everybody can relate to that. Like, you did not mean to spend the night at that fool's house. You definitely don't want to talk to him again. But now you got to figure out how to get home looking crazy. You know, like, so the Walk of Shame video, it's not made yet, but it's going to be really good. It's going to be like girls coming home from Halloween, you know, like, there's some pretty rough ones. Guys do the Walk of Shame too. we're making a paper dress that's throwaway. It comes in a Hallmark card. It's called the Walk of Shame dress. You keep it in your purse in case of an emergency. You know, again, this is my first co-write. They were like, you know, what do you want to write this record about? I said, I want to write this record about the Walk of Shame.
So the video for Gone, 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 you sort of, your outfits go from modern day to retro to like back and forth. How did that all come about? Where do you all...
It was in my closet. You know,
Yeah,
I love to buy, that's all my stuff. And I borrowed a dress from a good girlfriend that has a really cool website, Spanish Moss. You know, and I borrowed a dress from there in Pendleton, sent some stuff. Obviously, people don't mind having their things plugged. But I convinced the label that the director should come out to me. And so when he got there, I was like, you know, oh, they said, yo, we're going to play in a cabin. Oh, well, here's a 60s dress. You know, you're going to ride a motorcycle. Oh, well, I've got, you know, it's like just kind of dug out the things that I like. I've been collecting for a long time. So every environment I wanted to really fit, you know. And it turned out that people thought we were you know, eclectic. I spit on you. But, you know, and I guess we were, you know. But it's just, that's how I like to be. I like to be a chameleon. If I'm going to go to a honky-tonk, I'm not going to wear black stilettos and a slinky dress. I'm gonna wear cowboy boots and a short skirt, you know.
And so you have a goat in your closet as well?
No, the baby goat was in the field at that club. I mean, at that farm. That farm was like hand built by a guy, Cardwell Farm, and there was a baby goat. So I said, why can't we hold the baby goat?
I'd seen the video several times. It's just like this morning I was like, hang on, there's a goat.
If there's a prop sitting over there, why am I gonna leave? I mean, clearly I want that in the picture.
Great.
So your new album comes out the 27th of September. Where can people get that? What's your website? Can you throw out all
So, I mean, obviously iTunes is probably the easiest way that you're actually going to try. But if you want to buy it direct from us, we'll try to mail it to you in a timely fashion. You can come visit me at nikkilane.com or look us up on the Facebook. Carey Kotsionis also has a couple records, you know, if you look on there. What do we look at?
You can find Carey Kotsionis battle songs on iTunes.
So, you know,
you might have to spell that. Can you spell?
Kotsionis. You know, all you got to do is just Google it. I mean, if you put High Class Hillbilly in there, you can't get too far. If you put Nikki Lane in there, it's gonna be risky. I mean, there's definitely a lady that shows her coochie, but you can tell that it's not me. So it's not. I'm not the porn star, and I'm not the blonde artillery arms expert, Nikki Lane. I am clearly the brown-haired country singer.
When I Googled you the first time, that's what I found.
There's a lot of them out there.
Really
I've just got to get more views so that my name shows up first.
Exactly.
It's a competition. It's a race to the top.
Go ahead. Your new album, is it going to have some of the same songs that are on the EP?
Gone, Gone, Gone and Coming Home to You. It's actually a different version of Coming Home to You are on the new record, as well as some songs from the first record I made, we re-recorded. But a lot of new songs, a lot of stuff that's going to be on the podcast is on the new record. I tried to give a little mix of both because since the old record never came out properly, we wanted to give it a chance to, you know, be shown, to shine.
Thanks for being here, guys. We're gonna
Thank you so much for having
me. With Walk of Shame from your upcoming album. And yeah, thanks.
Feel free to buy any stuff when you guys see us live or on the internet.
This is how they're supporting their tour.
It's the difference between a floor and a hotel room. Be generous.
Oh yeah, thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks.